Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my first tutorial video. Today we are making this beautiful kaftan bubu dress with a front slit and an asymmetric neckline. This is the one I made from the tutorial. If this is what you would like to see and also know how to cut and sew, then let's get right into the tutorial. But before that, kindly click the subscribe button below if you're interested in beginners tutorial videos, and also put on your notification so you can be notified. So now let's get started. For today's tutorial, we'll be needing a pattern paper, a measuring tape, eraser, chalk, pencil, two pairs of scissors, a paper one, and then a clothing. And this is a ruler. This is a pattern ruler. Also, Aso Oke. I got this in navy blue color, so it could match with the Mikado we got. I got two leaves, and then this is our Mikado fabric for the Bubu we'll be making today. This is a neon color. Love the texture a lot. Very sturdy. So now let's get started with our neckline. With the neckline first. We're going to be marking out the neckline on the pattern paper first before placing it on the Aso Oke to cut out, so as not to make any mistake. The length of our neckline for the front is 20 inches, and plus the 3 inches for the back, making 23 inches. So here I'm going to be marking 23 inches. Let me come again. 20 inches for the front, 3 inches for the back, making 23 inches altogether. I'll be marking out 23 inches. Another 23 inches. 23 inches. So now I'm going to be marking the 3 inches for the back. 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. I'm marking in multiple places so I could get a straight line. So we are going to rule those out. After that, we are going to be marking 18 inches. This is for the full wideness of the neckline. 18 inches, which will later be divided into 9 inches. 9 inches for the left and right. 18 inches divided by 2 is going to give us 9. Yeah, I'm sorry about that noise. So 18 inches. We're going to rule that out now. Yeah. So this is not really hard. Now we are going to be dividing it 18 inches into 2, which will give us 9 inches. 18 divided by 2 is 9 inches. Yeah, I'm trying to write out the front and then the right side, the left side. So 9 inches, 9 inches, 9 inches. 9 inches. I'm going to roll that down. Now cut it out. Please watch carefully where I am cutting out. Now I'm going to measure 9 inches for the back. So we're going to roll that up so we could know the center back. Now I folded the pattern paper into 2 equal parts. So now the next thing to do is to measure 6 inches. This depends on how you want the shoulder to be, how wide you want the shoulder to be actually. You could use 5, you could use 6. Here I am using 6 inches. I'm going to rule that for the back. So now for the front part. From the shoulder, I'm going to measure, this is 6 inches for the back. Six inches for the back. Now we need to measure 6 inches too for the front, but this is not going to go all the way down. So I'm measuring 8 inches. 8 inches from that shoulder line for the back, for the front, 8 inches. So measuring 6 inches, 6 inches, so we could have a straight line. Six inches. So the wideness of our pattern paper is 9 inches. And now we have 6 inches out. What is left for us is 3 inches. We are going to use the 3 inches for the part in on the neckline that came out. So this is the 3 inches. So that's it for the left side of the neckline. For the right side of the neckline, we are going to measure 6 inches all the way down. All the way down from the top of the pattern paper down to the bottom of the pattern paper, 6 inches. And you are going to rule that out. You don't need to stop halfway here. You're just going to rule from the top, from the back to the front. So after doing that, we need to get the wideness and the depth of the back neckline. I'll be using 2.5 inches here for the wideness of the back neckline. 2.5 inches. I don't want it wide. And 1 inches for the depth. So I'm using my pattern ruler to the curvy part of the pattern ruler just to curve it out. Yeah, so that's it for the neckline of the back. And now we are going to cut it out. Be careful while cutting this. So after that, we are going to open up our pattern paper and then cut out that straight part. The 6 inches we measured down from the top to bottom. We are going to cut that part out. Watch closely where I'm cutting. And on the left side of the neckline, we are going to cut that part out too. Watch closely from that 3 inches then to the 6 inches. We are going to cut that out too. So if you followed everything that I've been saying from the start of this tutorial to this place, you should have this on your pattern paper. Now I want to measure 7 inches down from the left side of the pattern paper, 7 inches down. That's how that's the depth of the neckline that I want. So yeah, I'm trying to get a straight line for the a straight line for the neckline. I don't want it slanted or anything, so I'm just trying to measure 3 inches. So now I'm ruling that. And then the next thing to do is from the other side of the back neckline, you're just going to make your ruler slanted to the end of the straight line from the other neckline. I don't know how best to explain this, but I just hope that you can see what I am doing, and then you're just going to cut that out. So there you have it, your neckline, your asymmetric neckline for your kaftan or bubu as you call it. Now we want to make the back neck curvy. So I'm just using a free hand here to curve the back neckline. Just see what I am doing. You could use your ruler, you could use your free hand. I just choose to use a free hand. Before you cut out, make sure you align your pattern paper properly, then you cut it out. The next thing to do is, if you notice your neckline has a place that is curvy, not the left side that came out, but the other straight part is a bit curvy underneath. So we are going to try and curve that part now. From the edge right there, I'm trying to measure out 2 inches. I found out it was too small, then I increased by 1 inch again to make it 3 inches. Then I'm just going to use my free hand to curve that part. So you see what I'm doing, you adjust according to your preference. So now we cut that out. Voila, you have your neckline ready. On the slanted part of the neckline, I wanted it to not be sharply slanted. I just want it to be a bit curvy, little bit curvy. So I measured half inch inward and try to use my free hand to just curve it in on the both edge of the pattern. So now I'm cutting it out. See what it's giving me, not sharply slanted but a little bit curvy. So that's our neckline. This is the Aso Oke. I got 2 leaves as I said earlier. So now I'm going to cut it into 4. That means dividing the 2 leaf into 2 to make 4. So yeah, I'm trying to measure. I can see that the Aso Oke is longer than our neckline. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the Aso Oke into 4 equal parts. After doing that, I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and then pin all pieces down with half inches. Yeah, I'm trying to lay them out. I'm just going to sew them out like that. This is me after sewing, after pinning them out and ironing them, ironing the seam open and cutting out excess threads. So that's the wrong side and this is the right side. I'm going to place our pattern paper, our pattern drafted neckline on the Aso Oke. Make sure it aligns properly. Yeah, I'm trying to align them properly how I want them and pinning them in place. I'm going to cut them out, leaving half inch all around the pattern and all around the neckline too. So that's all for our neckline. Now we are going to move to the body of our kaftan. This is our Mikado fabric. I got 2 yards of the Mikado fabric. I don't like my kaftan or my bubu too big because I'm small on stature. So I just don't like it too big. So I got 2 yards. I'm going to use, the plan is to use 1 yard for the front and 1 yard for the back. Yeah, I'm trying to cut it equally, 1 yard each. So I could use 1 yard for the front and 1 yard for the back. I could have cut it together, but because we have a our slit for the bubu is going to be at the front, so I'm trying to pattern the back first. So this is me arranging the fabric equally, making sure the edges align, folding it half by half. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure the full length. My full length is 58 inches. Here I'm trying to secure the edges. I'm going to mark out the full length of the bubu, which is 58, plus 2 inches for the hemming allowance. And I found out that that's 60, and that's exactly what I have on this material. So I'm trying to chalk out the neckline. I made a mistake here. When you are doing yours, don't mark out the neckline. Don't mark out the neckline. Just leave it like that, because at the end of the day, you're going to be placing your drafted neckline on it and then cutting it out. So I used 1 inch by 3 inches by 1 inch here for the neckline. And I'm going to be using the whole wideness of the material for the wideness of my kaftan, which is 15 inches. On the edge there, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slanting. Again, you don't really need this. Now I'm marking 15 inches for the wideness of my kaftan, because I'm going to be adding an elastic there. We are making a puff sleeve kaftan. So 1 inch down there, and then 15 inches for the sleeve opening. So I'm going to be marking 16 inches here. 1 plus 15 making 16. I'm going to be marking 16 inches here, and divide using my hip measurements divided by 4, which is 9 inches. I want my armhole depth to be 4.5 inches, so I'm marking 4.5 inches there. And what we have remaining is 4.5 inches. That is okay for the wideness. So we have 13 inches there, 13.5 inches. I'm going to be marking 13.5 inches all around to the end, to the hem, to the end of our fabric, to the full length. Now I'm chalking that out. 9 plus 4.5 is 13.5 inches. So that's what I marked all the way down to the full length. So now I'm marking the armhole, and then we are going to be chalking out our armhole curve. I'm using a free hand, not too deep. The shoulder slanting, I'm moving the pins down so I could chalk out the shoulder slanting. Once again, you don't really need to do this. So this was a mistake on my part. You don't really need a neckline, and you also don't really need the shoulder slanting, since you have your neckline in place. So that's all for the back of our pattern of our bubu, the back pattern. So now I noticed this is the full material, the full wideness of the material for the back, and you notice we are having 1 inch slit opening for the front. So now I have to minus 1 inch from the sleeve opening of the back. You understand what I'm saying? So just this is what I'm going to do. So now that I've done that, I'm going to cut it out. Cut it out. So that's all for the pattern of the cutting of our back for our kaftan. That's all for the back. So now I'll be moving to the front cutting. Same as the back, I'm going to arrange it half in, half out. I'm going to be measuring 1 inches from the top of this pattern down to the full length. This is for our slit opening at the front. 1 inches, 1 inches, 1 inches, and then I'm going to be ruling that out. This is for the slit opening at the front, at the center front. After doing that, the next thing to do is to place your back pattern on the front, not edge by edge, but starting from the 1 inch. Now you see why we had to cut out 1 inch from the sleeve opening at the back. So I'm trying to arrange them properly and pinning them in place, making sure that the back is not edge to edge with the front. The back pattern is not edge to edge with the front. It's starting from the 1 inch that we left out for the slit opening. After making sure everything is in place, I'm going to cut that out. If you notice, I left the neckline for the front. I didn't do anything, I didn't cut it out, because we are going to be placing the neckline that we cut out on the Aso Oke on it to cut out the neckline. After that, after cutting out the front and making sure everything is all right and in place, I'm going to divide the front. I'm going to cut through that 1 inch, also notching the 1 inch, removing the office pin. Now I'm going to sew from the top of the front pattern down to where I want my slit opening to begin. I want my slit opening to be 2 inches above my knee. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to sew on that 1 inch. I'm going to sew on that 1 inch down to where I want my slit opening to begin from. So now here I have sewn the 1 inch, also pressed opening my seam. Yeah, as you can see, I've sewn it, I've pressed it open, and I've also gone ahead to pin down the slit opening using 1 inch. So as you can see here, I'm placing the front pattern and then placing the back pattern on it, right sides facing each other. Right sides facing each other. So if you are cutting yours, please do not cut out the neckline for the back. And also you don't need to cut out a shoulder slanting. Yeah, I'm pinning the shoulders together. I'm going to go to my sewing machine and sew 1/2 inch. So yeah, I've pinned down the shoulder with 1/2 inch. I'm going to go to my ironing table to press open this seam, because the material is bulky and it's like sturdy. So if I don't press down, it's going to look bulky. I need to go to my iron table and press open the seam on the shoulder. So yeah, I've pressed open the seam on the shoulder. So I'm just going to lay it out flat, bringing in my neckline, the neckline that we cut out, notching the important part, the center front, the shoulder, so we can align them properly on the kaftan. So now I'm going to pin the neckline shoulder to shoulder, center back to center back. But before I do that, I'm going to move the kaftan to the wrong side. We are going to be turning our neckline. So I'm moving it to the wrong side, sewing round 1/2 inches. So yeah, I've sewn it round. I'm going to cut out the excess in the middle from the front. Mind you, the back is well aligned because of we cut it out when we were cutting the back for the kaftan. So now I'm going to be notching all areas of the neckline so that by the time we turn, it's not bulky and it's laying out flat. So now I'll be turning the neckline right out. Yeah, I am turning it to the right side of the kaftan. And then wherever I notice that is not laying out flat, I'm going to turn it to the wrong side and check if it's not properly notched. If it's not properly notched, I'm going to notch it again to make sure it lays flat. If you notice there's no interfacing on this Aso Oke, that is because the Aso Oke is sturdy enough. The Mikado fabric is also sturdy and strong, so I don't need an interface. So yeah, after turning the edges half inch and pinning it down, this is what we have. This is what you should have if you followed everything that I've said from the beginning. So this is our neckline. Now the next thing to do is to turn our sleeve. I'm going to go to the sewing machine and use 1 inch, half by half, to make an elastic casing for the sleeve, since this is a puffy sleeved kaftan. Now I'm using the elastic to measure my sleeve. I don't want it too tight and I don't want it too big. I don't want it to be uncomfortable when I put it on. So yeah, I'm cutting the elastic. Go to my sewing machine. So yeah, I went ahead to make the elastic casing and also to add in the elastic. Also went ahead to join the sides of the kaftan. So this is what we have. This is our beautiful kaftan. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So I told you it was simple. This is it. All that is left to do now is to take this to the weaving machine and weave the inner, because the material is really removing a lot of thread. So I'm just going to weave it and then also um secure our the hem of our kaftan. I added 2 inches, so I'm just going to put it on and see, and then secure the head hem by sewing in 2 inches or 3 inches. That would depend on after putting it on. I'm just going to fold it in like this. That's all.